Hey everyone, welcome to today's practice, Yoga for Knee Strength and Joint Pain in Menopause. I'm Jody, and in this session, we're focusing on gentle yet effective yoga postures to help strengthen your knees and reduce joint pain, a common experience during menopause. Before we begin, you'll need a yoga block to support some of the poses we're doing today. And if you don't have a block, no worries. You can fold up or roll up a towel like this or use a sturdy cushion. This will give you the support you need to get the most out of your practice today. And in this class, we're working with postures like chair pose, warrior two, half moon, and malasana to build strength and stability around the knees while improving flexibility in the surrounding muscles and joints. These movements will help relieve discomfort and support your body through menopause and beyond. Let's take it easy, focus on alignment, and most importantly, listen to your body. If you're ready to build stronger, healthier knees, grab your mat, your block, your towel, and let's get started. Okay, let's begin in a reclined position. Make sure you have your block or towel ready. As you come onto your back, bend both knees, rest your arms, or your hands rather, on your belly, and your feet are just about hip width distance. From here, we're going to establish the breath. So as you have your hands on the belly, it really allows you to connect just a little bit deeper as you feel the rise and fall of your body as you breathe in and out. So start to breathe in and out of your nose. Just find a natural breath here. Notice if you're more shallow breathing into the chest or if you are breathing deep into the belly. And that's what we want to start to focus on, is bringing that breath deeper into your belly. And then we're going to start to get even deeper with the breath. So deep breath in, fill up to the belly, up to the ribs, into the lungs, up to the collarbone. And then breathe out from the collarbone, travel all the way back down, just the opposite way that you took that breath in. Inhale. And exhale. So this is called a complete breath, belly to collarbone, collarbone to belly. Try to focus on using that breath in your practice today, but don't get too hung up on it. The most important thing is that you are breathing, but if focusing on the breath is too much for you right now because you are focusing on these postures, that's okay. Let's focus on the postures and then the breath will come naturally. So we're going to start in a bridge pose. Take your block or your folded up towel and place it right between your thighs. You want to squeeze nice and tight with those thighs to really activate the muscles of the legs and that surround the knees. Feet are hip width distance. If you need to toe heel in or out a little bit, once you get that block in between the thighs, go ahead and readjust the feet. Let's go ahead, rock the tailbone under and start to lift your hips up. Okay, now focusing on the breath, we inhale from the belly to the collarbone and exhale out. And if you prefer to exhale through the mouth, keep focusing on the breath. If you prefer to exhale through the mouth, you can exhale through the mouth as well. It's very calming. Inhale. Exhale. It would sound like this. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Lower down. Just take a moment to reset and then lift back up. Squeezing through those thighs, rocking your tailbone under, focusing on deep breaths in and slow, controlled breaths out. Relax your arms. Take one more inhale through your nose. As you exhale, start to lower down. Reset. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and lift up. Hold here. Exhale. So now we're focusing on breathing, on squeezing through the thighs. As you feel that muscular effort, this third one might be a little more challenging. So continue to focus on the breath to soften those edgy feelings that might arise. Inhale. Good. Breathing out. And let's do one more inhale. And slowly release down. Exhale. You can release your towel or release the block. Bring your knees to your chest and just rock side to side a few times. Holding that block really fires up those muscles. Okay, we're going to rise up. So you either can roll onto your back. I'm just going to lift myself up here and come into a tabletop position. So onto your hands and knees. Tabletop position. I'm going to bring the block towards the back of the mat because that's where we're going to be heading. So tabletop position, tuck your toes under. Let's come up into downward facing dog. So as you push up, push into the hands, allow the chest to melt, lift through the hips and press through the heels. So now as you create the space, right, from the tailbone down through the heels, and if you're really tight, bend your knees a little bit here. We're stretching, right, the muscles along the knees and in the back of the knees. So all these postures, really getting into that dense tissue, the tight tissue. It feels good to rock side to side. Well, it feels good to me to sway my hips from side to side. Try it and see if it feels good to you. And that is my message, right? Try something. If it works, use it. If it's not working in that moment, you can come back to it another time, right? Not every one thing works for every single body. Now, from here, we're going to walk back to a standing forward fold. Your feet should be hip width distance or maybe just a touch wider. We're going to move from Malasana, which is a squat, back up to a forward fold. So in Malasana, you're going to turn the toes out. Now, from here, you're going to start to bend the knees. You can place your block right slightly behind you for your booty to land on as you lower down if you need it, but you might not even get that far. Okay, so let's bend the knees and lower down. Maybe you come halfway, perhaps 3/4 of the way. You might land on a block or on your towel, or you might be able to come all the way down. Okay, exhale and rise, spin your toes forward. So for me right now, my knees are still feeling kind of tight, so I'm going to have that block underneath my hips. Turn the toes out, inhale, lower, lift the chest, exhale, straighten out, point the toes, sink into your forward fold. Try it again. Inhale, point the toes out, bend the knees. Just come as deep as it feels good to you. And then straighten those legs, spin the toes forward, forward fold. Let's take a few more. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you come into your forward bend. We're getting the knees warmed up. Okay, let's do one more forward fold. And then we're going to come into Malasana, okay? So this is going to stretch those knees and stretch the tissue surrounds the knees. So toes turn out, start to lower your hips down. Boom, I'm landing right on top of my block. You can release the block, okay? If you want to come all the way down, you might need to bring the block up a little higher. You can also use a stool, right? A small chair if you want to sit on. You can get creative with what you sit on here to support yourself. Okay, so let's bring the elbows inside of the knees, palms together. Push in your elbows and your knees into each other and sit up nice and tall. Just breathe, inhale, belly to collarbone. Exhale, sigh it out or through the nose. Again, inhale and exhale. Continue to focus on your breathing, filling up and controlling it out. Good. On your next exhalation, rise back up to your forward fold. Grab your Opposite elbows. Bend your knees a little bit, dangle for a few breaths. Here's our reset. Good. Release, turn the toes out. Squat back down into Malasana, elbows to knees, palms together. Let's explore the breath. Inhale. Exhale. This is a knee-focused practice, but of course our whole body is going to benefit from all this movement, all this stretching and mindfulness. Okay, forward fold. Let's rise, lift the hips, take your hands around your elbows, slight bend in the knees, dropping down. And let's take it down. This time I'm going to let that block go. Come all the way down, elbows to knees. Breathe. Let's take one more breath in. Back to that forward fold. Grab the elbows, bend the knees slightly, dangle. Release the arms, and then roll up just one vertebra at a time until you're back up to a standing position. We're going to come towards the top of the mat, and you'll want to grab your block here, okay? So when you come to the top of the mat, we're going to set up for chair pose. So again, we'll be squeezing the block between the thighs, so your feet are going to be just a little more narrow of hip width distance. So grab your block, all right, and we're going to bend the knees. And as you bend the knees, hinge forward at the hips and send the hips back. Common error in chair is we bring those hips forward. We want to send them back here. Take your block right in between your thighs and give it a nice squeeze. And then inhale, reach your arms up by the ears. Okay, from here, squeeze the thighs. Just rock that tailbone down just a little bit. It doesn't mean we're coming forward. It's this little tiny movement right down there at that lower part of your spine as it rocks down. You're creating space. Breathe and exhale. Again, finding your breath, finding your rhythm of your breath. Relax your shoulders. Good. One more inhale. Exhale. We're going to come to a forward fold. As you start to fold forward, release the block, place it down, release your head, squeezing. Okay, take your hands down to the ground and step your left foot back into a lunge, spin the heel flat, and rise up to Warrior Two. So in Warrior Two, we want to line the heel up with the arch of the back foot. Let's make sure the right toes are pointing straight forward, not pointing inward. If anything, they can point outward to the right just slightly. Bring the knee over the ankle, arms out to a T. Now, as you're holding this posture, we're going to press the inside of the knee towards the pinky toe. So open up and then spiral those hips forward and hold here. Gaze over your front hand. Breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Find steadiness and relaxation in the breath as you find strength in the lower body, right? We're creating balance, which is what yoga means. It means to yoke, to bring together. All right, one more inhale. Side angle pose. Keep the same legs. Drop the right hand down. Just take it right on the inside of that right leg and sweep the left arm over your ear. Press into that hand to rotate a little bit more, but keep your knee above the ankle. Breathe. You can feel those muscles getting stronger as we hold this lunge position. Good. Now keep the same lunge position, reverse warrior. We're just going to switch arms. Reach the right arm up. Let the left arm drop. Sink down a little deeper through those hips. Reach up a little bit more through the ribs, through the side body, through the fingertips. Alright, go ahead, straighten out that leg and release the arms. So the next posture we're coming into is half moon pose. Now, I love half moon pose against the wall because it really allows you to open up your body more than you ever thought possible. And then if you lean up, it's kind of like when you do a handstand. If you lean up against the wall, and then you can slowly bring yourself off the wall. So it's optional for you. But we're going to take the right hand and place it on the block. Bring the block out to the top corner of the mat. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Your right knee is still bent from those lunges, okay? We're going to lift the left leg up. Let me slide back just a little bit. Okay, lift the left leg up. Okay, start to really lift up and find some length. Your left hand is to your left hip. Start to pull that left hip back. So now your hips over hip and your shoulders over shoulder, and then reach your left arm up. Now, you can feel all the strength, all the weight bearing in that right leg. So try not to dump too much weight into the block. Feel free to bend the right knee slightly if you need to, and then just find that sweet spot of balance. We got the knee, but we also have strengthening through those hips. Good. One more inhale. Bring your hand back to your hip. Bend your right knee. Step your left foot out. Okay, now they're wide. We're going to go right into a goddess pose. I'm going to just scoot over a little bit. Goddess pose, your feet are wide. Your knees are bent, hands to heart. Now, you're definitely going to feel it more in the right leg than the left since we've been working it. Just hold right here. Relax your shoulders and find your breath. Sink deeper if you can. Option, lift your heels up. It's going to add a lot more of a challenge. You're really going to work on strengthening all those muscles through the legs. Okay, it's optional. You don't have to lift those heels. Take one more inhale. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes forward and take a forward fold. Relax your head. Exhale. Fold a little deeper. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, turn and walk back to the front of the mat. Okay. Bring your feet just far enough to come right into your chair and place your block between your thighs. Bend both knees. Place your block between your thighs. Sit back, lift your arms up. Squeeze, rock your tailbone down. Pull your belly in. Breathe. Upper arms by your ears. Now, if you're sighing the breath out, you're actually going to help soothe that nervous system if you need it. If it's getting challenging, sigh it out like you're fogging up a mirror. Nice audible exhale. Good. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead. Start to take a forward fold. Release your block. Step the right foot back now into your lunge. Then your back heel down. And rise up into your warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. Gaze is over your fingertips. Relax your shoulders. So intentionally, you guys, I'm staying facing the back of the body towards you, just so you can get that back view of this posture. Make sure you're lunging deep enough into the knee. Generally, right, we don't really need mirrors in our yoga practice. It kind of takes away from that mind-body connection, but Sometimes it's good just to see if you're really actually getting your knee over your ankle. Sometimes we think we're in a certain position or we're going as deep as we can, but we still have a little bit further that we can go. So if you have a mirror handy, you can always just take a peek. Otherwise, see if you can sink just a little deeper. Deep breath in. Let's take side angle. Take the left arm down and the right arm over the ear. Side body stretch. Push into the leg. Rotate. Reach. Find space in the side body. Okay, if you need more in the lower body, start to lunge a little deeper. And then you can always toe heel this back foot back a little bit to create even more room for you. More room to lunge, more room to challenge yourself, more room to practice the art of breath and mindfulness to ease the edginess and the challenge. Rise up, keep the same legs reversed. Left arm reaches, right hand rests. We're still lunging into that left leg. Alright, go ahead, straighten that leg out. Give yourself a little break here. We're going to take our half moon pose. Okay, now the block is going to go, I'm going to just step back a little bit. The block is going to go to the left corner. Right hand to your right hip. Let's start to lift the back leg and then roll the right side of the body open. Squeeze those sides, flex the right foot. When you're ready, the right arm reaches. Okay, and then just get a little bit lighter in the left hand. Your weight's not moving down, you're lifting up, open through the chest. Make sure your chin is away from the chest. And we're really trying to get a nice straight line from the tailbone to the crown. Good, one more inhale, and then exhale. Go ahead, step back out into your goddess. Here's where I'm going to turn around and hold this goddess pose. All right. Knees over the ankles. Heels can be down. One more challenge. Lift your heels. Breathe. A couple tips for you if you have inflammation in your joints, which is really a common side effect of menopause. What I love to do is put castor oil around my knees. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. I actually put it all over my entire body because it is really healing. Go ahead, release. Straighten your legs, take a forward bend. I mix castor oil with some frankincense and jojoba oil to kind of thin it out a little bit because it is pretty thick, but that's a really nice, not only for your face, a good moisturizer, but it's a great anti-inflammatory. I rub it on my knees, on my shoulders, anywhere I feel inflammation. I rub it, I put it on my face every night. I rub it on my chest, my belly, just to keep that skin looking smooth. Anything we can do to help us maintain our health, right? Inside and out. Let's go ahead and we're going to rise up, walk forward, step back. We're in a tabletop. Drop your hips and swing your legs around. Okay. So for our next posture, we're going to do a half reclined saddle. So I'm going to bring my block behind me. If you have your towel, you can take a towel, you can take a pillow. You might need more than one pillow to support yourself here. Let's take that right leg, right foot back, okay, right by the hip, and we're going to start to lean back onto the hands. We're going to hold this one for just about a minute, okay? So start by leaning back on the hands. This might be pretty much as far as you get, all good. Perhaps resting on your elbows will work. I'm going to slide my block in a little more so it supports underneath my shoulder blades. This seems pretty good right here. And just relaxing down into this stretch now. Another option, if you want to, is to take your folded up towel, wherever you're at. You guys just hold, we're still here for a minute, and to sit on that, elevating underneath you, okay? If you need a little bit of relief, that can help you as well. So play with what you got going on. And then relax and use that breath to guide you. Now at this point, if this is feeling like it's really targeting what you need, you can pause the video and just hold this for as long as you need to, and then start back up again and switch to the other side like we're going to do right now. So come on up. Let's switch. Right leg comes out and the left foot comes back. Go ahead, lean back onto the hand. Just get a little idea. This leg is much tighter on me than the other, so I'm not sure how far I'm going to get back right now on the elbows. All right, so the deeper we go, we start to stretch the tissue. Think of it like taffy, right? It's a slow moving stretch here. All right, I'm going to try and come on back. Okay, this is working. And let's try to relax. Now, this one, because this one is so much more intense than the right side, I really have to dive deep into my breath to find a way to maintain this position just for this remainder of the minute. As I mentioned, if you exhale audibly through your mouth, it stimulates this relaxation response, which is really helpful when you're trying to hold postures like this for longer periods of time. Again, pause the video if you want to stay here a little longer. Otherwise, let's start to release. We're going to come on up. Release that leg out, lean back, and just pause for a minute and embrace all the sensation going on. Let's bounce out those knees. And let's take our final posture, which is child's pose. So child's pose, we're on our hands and knees. Now, if you want to use the block, okay, you can bring the block between your feet and sit back on the block for a nice supported child's pose here. You can also bring a block underneath your chest here. This will give you a nice supported pose, even a little higher up. It kind of just takes a little bit of that edginess out if you need it. If you don't need it, then we don't use it. And then relax down. Not only does child's pose stretch all the tissues surrounding the knee joint, it's also known as the pose of honor. We honor ourselves and our body when we come here to breathe, to rest, to become centered, and to take care. Again, if you want to stay here a little longer, stay here as long as you want. We're going to get up now and shift back, bringing your legs forward and onto your back. Let's take a short shavasana. So in this video, we'll take a 1-minute shavasana, but if you want longer, then you stay as long as you need to. If you can fit 5 minutes in, I encourage you to take those 5 minutes to relax and really connect with the body, okay? As you come to Shavasana, keep the body very still so you can feel all that energy moving through and all that healing around the knees and your joints. Keep your mind alert, and I will see you for our next Yoga and Menopause video. Thanks for joining me, and namaste.